This is the second generation Apple Watch SE, and the Apple Watch SE has been one of my favorite watches and products in the entire Apple lineup, just because of how well it's designed and how affordable it is as well. So I'm going to be taking a look at it. So if you guys have watched other videos on my channel, you'll know that I had a silver one as well, which the Starlight one, which I actually ended up not keeping. I went ahead and swapped it out for this, which is a Midnight SE with a braided solo loop. So this is the first time I've actually ever bought a solo loop, and I was lucky enough to actually go in store and try them out because they have they have different sizes because they're not one size fits all. So that was interesting. I will talk about that a little bit later in the video, but this is the Apple Watch SE. Let me go ahead and start to unbox it and show you guys what the experience is like. So this is the one I did get was $300 because of the band, but this starts at $249. And you can get the watch for, you can get the 44 millimeter for $279 if you get the standard band. It's just that when you get the more expensive bands, the prices start to go up a couple of bucks from there. So the braided solo loop is a little bit more expensive. So this is the Midnight Apple Watch, and I am wearing the Midnight Apple Watch Series 7, so I just wanted to give this a try. So let me put this off to the side, and oh yeah, before I do, just want to show you guys the really cool design of the inside of this box. The packaging for the Apple Watch has always been one of the coolest in my opinion. They just do such a cool job, and this is not like, this is specific to each watch model, like the Apple Watch SE, Series 8, they all have different insides that will pair them up with the colors of the watches that are available. So you guys can see the Midnight, the Starlight, the Silver, with all the different band options that are new too. So that's super, super cool. I love this. It's a very nice, subtle touch, but Apple really does know how to just make the whole experience feel very unique and very, very premium. So this is the watch itself. It comes in this box where on the back it does say Apple Watch SE, second gen, 44 millimeter, Midnight aluminum GPS. So this is just the GPS model, not the cellular. I always find the cellular to be just not really useful for me because I don't want to pay extra for that. I always have my phone with me. So there are two paper-like pull tabs here that you have to pull on. And once you pull on those, that's pretty much it. All you got to do at that point is flip the box over, lift it up like this. Come on, okay. Maybe shake it up a little too if your box is a little bit tight, and boom, there we go. There is the watch, and here's some paperwork as well. Just going to take a look at that paperwork for you guys real quick. Apple Watch, some regulatory information. This is just the quick start guide that will show you to put the band on, then charge it, and that's about it. So let me go ahead and put this to the side, and of course I'll show you guys the charger cable as well. So this is the charging cable. It is a USB-C to magnetic charging puck, so you guys can see as in here, there's a USB-C cable. However, while this is a USB-C cable, the Apple Watch SE does not, unfortunately, support fast charging like that was a new feature on the Apple Watch Series 7 and is standard now on the Series 8 as well. So no fast charging for the Apple Watch SE, but this is the Apple Watch SE. Let me go ahead and punch in here a little bit more so you guys have a better look at it. And there is this plastic covering on it. So let me just go ahead and remove the covering and pull it out. Boom. All right, so this is what the watch looks like. Very familiar. The case is this midnight color, which is a very dark blue. It's almost a slate color. It's a black with a very, very bluish tint to it. So the bottom has this plastic. I forget again what Apple calls this. This is something, it's some kind of fancy Apple marketing term, but it is a plastic finish on the bottom, which I actually don't think is a bad thing. I mentioned in my other Apple Watch SE video that this material down here can cause skin irritation. Certain kinds of material do cause certain types of irritation for skin, and I've seen it firsthand. So, the Apple Watch Series 3, it had this aluminum right down here. It didn't have anything else. And then from there, the newer ones started to get ceramic on the bottom, like the current Apple Watch SE, which I'll just show you right now. So this is my Apple Watch SE, and you guys can see on the bottom here, this actually has this is the first generation one, and this has the ceramic bottom. This is the same bottom that came standard from the Series 4 onwards, and the Apple Watch SE used it as well. What you guys can see is at the bottom, the sensor array is exactly the same. The sensors and everything are the same because there are no new health sensors or features on the second generation watch. So the health array the sensors here, the sensor array stays the same, but there is a new difference here where the back is color matched. As you guys can see, this is a gold SE, but the back is black. So with the new ones, you get a color matched back, which I don't know. I personally think ceramic is a higher quality material, and that definitely looks and feels better. However, having this plastic could also mean that people that might have found that the ceramic or the aluminum was giving them skin irritation, this might be the answer for them. Now, that is definitely a downgrade in a sense, and it makes sense as to why that would help bring down the cost of this, which is actually $30 cheaper than the previous one. So I'm going to let this turn on here for a second, and while this is turning on, I'm going to take a look at the Braided Solo Loop. So this is the Braided Solo Loop. This is the Midnight, I believe. The color finish, it's not yes, Midnight Braided Solo Loop for the Apple Watch. And this is my size, ended up being a 7, if you guys were wondering. And they had the store has this cool sizer where you kind of just stick this one thing on your center of your wrist right here, and then the paper loops around, and it will land you on a number that will be your size. So mine ended up being like right at 8, but we tried a couple of options. I tried the 9, the 8, and the 7, and it ended up being that the 7 was actually the most comfortable for the Braided Solo Loop, whereas for the silicone Solo Loop, it was the 8 was way more comfortable. The silicone one, the sport one, did not have any play. It was actually quite tight, and that material I didn't end up liking. That's why I went with the Braided Solo Loop. So as you guys can see in here, they are sized, and this Midnight looks very cool. I really love the concept of just having this be a no strap, no clasp, nothing, just slip it on and slip it off kind of material. So just pulling it out and giving you guys a closer look. So this is, again, Midnight. So it's this dark blue, and it looks fantastic. And, if you look closely at the sides, it will show you guys 44 millimeters, size 5, size 6, size 7, whatever it is. So it shows me my 45 millimeters and 7. So 45 obviously works with 44 and 42 as well, so of the older Apple Watches. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And again, just because these are, universal, you can pretty much put on any side that you want it to be. And let me do that and show you guys. So this is what it looks like from the side when you get that braided Midnight and Midnight combo. Looks quite fantastic. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to set this up with my phone. And once it's set up, I'm going to use it for a bit, and then I'll show you guys the cool features of it and how I'm feeling about the Apple Watch second generation SE in this Midnight with a Braided Solo Loop. So just give me a minute, let me set it all up, and I'll come right back to you guys. Okay guys, so I have spent the last day with the Apple Watch SE, and so far I have very similar thoughts that I did when I made the first Starlight video. This is an excellent product, and I really love it. So let me go ahead and spend a little bit more time talking about the differences between the Series 7, 8, and I'm going to say Series 7, 8, but just assume I mean the same thing for everything. The Series 7 and 8 are pretty much identical. This is a Series 7, by the way, but I will say the same thing. This is the first generation Apple Watch SE, which I absolutely adore and love. This is great. So let me go ahead and start off by talking about the Apple Watch, the Braided Solo Loop, because this has been the highlight of this watch for me. This loop is absolutely amazing. It is very comfortable. This Midnight loop pairs so well with the Midnight case, and it is so comfortable to put on, and it just absolutely feels, it isn't loose. It's not tight, as you guys can see, but when I try to shake the watch around or move my hand rigorously, it does not move at all. It stays put, and I absolutely love that. This absolutely feels so comfortable in the hand, and it's so breathable, this material, and very easy to put on and off. So if you guys are in the market for a solo braided loop, I highly recommend this. It's so good, and as I said, just make sure you get your size right, and other than that, that's awesome. So let's move on and talk about the back. So you guys can see this is that plastic back that I talked about before. It feels pretty comfortable in the hand. I haven't noticed any issues. It is clearly a bit lighter than the Series 8 7 and 8 because it doesn't have that ceramic back. So as you guys can see, These have just way more sensors in them because they have the ECG, they have the blood oxygen sensors and all that, and this doesn't have it. But it does have your heart rate sensor, it does have crash detection. So this isn't completely pared down. It just doesn't have a lot of the, I would say, more niche sensors. I don't think a lot of people are taking their ECG on their Apple Watch regularly. I certainly am not. If you are somebody that does, then maybe you shouldn't buy this one. You should go up to the more expensive one. But if you're not somebody that takes their ECG all the time and not somebody who's constantly tracking your blood oxygen, this is a good compromise because this watch looks so identical. As you guys can see, this is the midnight finish here too, and there's not a lot to differentiate the two of them. They both look so similar in both, you know, color and just design. I will say that the Series 7 and 8 will have a bigger footprint. They just are bigger. The screen, even though it is a similar size, it's 44 versus 45, it just feels so much bigger, as you guys can see side by side when both those screens are taken up. This watch clearly looks way bigger, even though technically it's only 1 millimeter larger when it comes to that face. So it clearly is. It just, the display pushing all the way to the edge makes a big difference, which is clearly noticeable. That being said, this watch starts at $250. If you get the most expensive one, it's $329 with the cellular and the larger case size, which is 44 millimeters. So at $330, it's still cheaper, $70 cheaper than this, which starts at $400, and that's just for the GPS model. So that's an interesting question that raises which one should you buy between these two. I'll be making a more in-depth video on that, but honestly, the SE doesn't really compromise on that many things. I think that it's a great buy if you're looking at comparing these two. If you're not somebody who's looking for those bigger those sensors, this one is absolutely awesome, and I can't recommend it enough. It looks great. And let me just put it beside the original Apple Watch SE, the first generation that came out 2 years ago. As you guys can see on the bottom of these, the sensor array is quite similar, and that's for good reason because they're pretty much the same. They really don't have other features, but you can see that the bottom is now color matched. This is obviously black, so it's not as color matched, but this one is gold and the bottom is ceramic, so that didn't have the color match. But honestly, you don't really see that the bottom of the watch anyways ever, so you wouldn't even know. I do have to say, I do wish that the gold still survived on the SE. The gold, I think, was one of the best finishes of the original SE. But the Midnight, Starlight, and Silver are pretty nice in their own right as well. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you have any more questions about the Apple Watch SE, be sure to ask me down in the comments below. If you want to check this watch out or any of the other watches I have or any of the other accessories that I use for these, I'll have them all linked down in the description below. I really appreciate when you guys use those links because it helps the channel so much. And if you want to check out some more pictures and behind the scenes content of this watch, feel free to follow me over on social media. I'll have all the handles right here on the screen and of course linked down in the description below, posting a lot of stuff. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more Apple Watch content, a lot more coming your way, including a buyer's guide comparing the Series 8, this, and the Apple Watch Ultra as well. So excited for that, and I'm excited for you guys to see all that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will catch you in the next one.